Hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and man, oh man, I guess this is going to be a little bit of a rant, if I'm being honest, because I just got done watching Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. This was the continuation of Part 1, which I wasn't too high on that either, but I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I was willing to say, hey, this was only night 1. Maybe it will get better in night 2. And there was a few different things that I was looking forward to, specifically as far as certain actors, characters coming back for this big epic event. Let's jump right into it. At the very beginning, we see our heroes dealing with having a toast almost, or at least sort of reminiscing on the sacrifice that Oliver Queen made. He died to try to save everybody. And then his daughter Mia suggests that, hey, maybe we can find a different Earth that still has a Lazarus Pit, and we can bring Oliver Queen back. And I thought, holy crap, why did I not think in any scenario that it was even a possibility that they were going to bring back Oliver Queen? This does make sense that you have his death be a swerve almost, a twist swerve in night 1, and then we jump ahead and then just bring him back in the following part. Yes, that makes sense. It maybe contrived. Maybe you're taking away from the dangers of death by using this Lazarus Pit that Arrow especially has leaned on for far too many characters. Sarah, 2 or 3 different times. Thea. Did Laurel come back from the pit? No, they just brought back a doppelganger from a different Earth to play Laurel. But okay, so we did this. We even involved Constantine, which I gotta be honest, I love this actor that plays Constantine. I think he was the best part of his own TV show. He's been a great addition to the Legends of Tomorrow cast. And so it was great to see him pop up here. It's great that whenever we have to do something that's involving demons or souls and whatnot, that we bring in Constantine, the character himself. It makes sense. And seeing him partake in this resurrection, they weren't able to get Oliver's soul back though. So Oliver did jump out of the puddle, which the Lazarus Pit looked very different from the last time that we saw it. I'm not even talking about the cave that it was in, although seeing Jonah Hex almost proposition Mia was very, very creepy. Pre-scarring, though, so I guess that means Jonah Hex was okay to be a creep. But when you see that Oliver comes out of this pit and he's incensed, he's not himself, he attacks them, they trank him, and they can't get the soul back. So now it's a question of, well, what do we do with Oliver? He's alive, but he's not really him. Are we going to get the soul back? Is this crisis now not going to end with Oliver dying? If they find a different way, if they find a better way to kill Oliver, just a death that's more suited for the character, then cool, fine, I'd be all for it. Or maybe we do get his soul back, and maybe we do resurrect him completely, and he retires as opposed to dying. Seeing Oliver die wasn't really something that I ever wanted to see, especially after 8 years. And now that we've gotten, honestly, a lame death last episode, I'd rather a more fitting send-off. I'd rather a more happy ending for the character. Let's see if we end up getting that. The Monitor tells our group to find more heroes, basically. And every hero is supposed to represent a certain thing in the lore of how they're going to win this war. It's honestly, it's very confusing. They basically have to find one Superman from an Earth to join them, one Batman from a different Earth to fight, and I think there was somebody else. I don't know. I don't remember. Lex, who the Monitor resurrected. There was even a moment where Mia said, "You can resurrect Lex Luthor, but you couldn't resurrect Oliver." Oh, well, because of this crisis, now my powers are drained. BS, Monitor. I mean, either he's lying, either you can't trust the Monitor, which I'm pretty sure you can't for several different reasons throughout this episode, but or the writers just suck. And I'm almost more inclined to believe just that. So Lex, who supposedly was brought back because he serves a higher purpose in the story, BS, because all he does is he steals this book, that the Book of Destiny, I believe it's called, and it gives him powers, it gives him ability to be able to do things, and you see him arrive in Smallville. Well, first you see our group of heroes. You see the Earth 38 version of Superman and Lois and Iris. They go to Smallville. They go to the farm. It still looks like the same farm from the Smallville TV show. And we see Tom Welling. Yes, this is the most anticipated thing that I was looking forward to in regards to this crisis, was seeing Tom Welling finally back as Clark Kent. Finally back to hopefully maybe play Superman, because not only is Tom Welling a huge part of why CW is as successful as they are with the superhero genre, it's because of Smallville's success. It's because of how big and popular that show got to give this network the confidence that they could do all these other superhero shows, and now they are what they are today. So I love that they asked him. I love that he did it. For years it seemed like he wasn't really interested in ever going back to something like this, but he did. And you see him, he's chopping wood, and he looks good. He's in great shape. He's a good-looking guy. You can't deny that. And our heroes are telling him about the crisis, the multiverse, and the dangers, and Lex is going to kill him. And he seems a little interested at first, or at least curious about what's going on. And then Lex gets rid of them somehow because of the book, I guess, or maybe he has a device. I really, so much is going on throughout this that I think things just happen as opposed to them explaining it. Lex shows up and he has this book and he explains that he is Lex. I love the moment where Tom Welling goes up to him, gets a closer look at him, and says, "You're not Lex. You're not Michael Rosenbaum. Hell, nobody is Michael Rosenbaum when it comes to playing Lex," and I think it's true. It's so true. So as John Cryer's Lex is explaining everything to him, explaining what he's going to do and how they're destined to be enemies and blah, 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 Tom Welling has this look on his face like he couldn't care less about any of this. Maybe it's because Tom Welling really doesn't give a crap about this superhero stuff anymore, and he's pretty disinterested in real life, and he was bringing that to the role. Or you could say that this Clark Kent in general doesn't really care too much or has a big stake in this, because he reveals when Lex pulls out a piece of kryptonite. I don't know if it was a kryptonite bullet or whatnot, but Tom Welling just grabs the kryptonite. He holds it. It doesn't affect him. It doesn't weaken him. He throws it and he says, "Yeah, well, this doesn't do anything to me because I gave up my powers." And Lex says, "What?" And even I say, "What?" And you find out that he gave up his powers because him and Lois, Erica Durance from Smallville, they have children. And so he essentially gave up his powers to have a family and to have a normal life. Now, look, did I overhype myself that, hey, maybe Tom Welling would actually finally put the Superman suit on, that maybe he would actually finally do something heroic or superhero-like and be a part of this crisis in a big way? Yes, because I'm an idiot, and I actually thought that that could happen. But seeing the reason why, because there was a big part of me that thought it was very possible that it wouldn't happen. So seeing how they did it, seeing the reason why he doesn't have powers anymore, it makes sense. It does. And it is a nice gesture. It is a nice thing. It's a big thing for him to give up these powers. But it's a nice way for him and Lois to live happily ever after, I guess. It's sort of weird to watch Smallville now, knowing that ultimately he'll just give up his powers to have a family. I mean, doesn't that sort of undo the whole higher purpose or the big destiny that he was supposed to have, that his father told him about? I'm conflicted about it. There is a part of me, the fanboy Smallville part of me, that still wanted to see him put the suit on. Clearly, Tom Welling had no interest in putting the suit on. So, look, it was great to see him back. It was great to see him and Lois back together, even if it was for this one scene. This is definitely a scene that I could see myself rewatching on YouTube a few more times just because it was cool. It was a moment that I thought I'd never get to see again. But let's jump to Kevin Conroy. It's the first time that Kevin Conroy plays Batman in live action. Kate Kane and Kara go to Earth 99 to go speak to him. And yes, it's a future version of Bruce, so that explains the age difference between him and Kate. And as much as I love Kevin Conroy, and I love Kevin Conroy, and I love the fact that they asked him to do this because, again, fanboy in me, right? I mean, this is the guy who does the voice of Batman from my childhood, from the Arkham games, from everything that you think of when you hear Batman's voice. I think of this guy's voice. For whatever reason, his voice didn't sound as much like Batman hearing him talk in live action. I don't know if it's because he's older, although he still does the voice of Batman in certain animated movies and in the video games. Like, he's still around, so and he still sounds like Batman, but for some reason, he didn't sound as much like Batman hearing him here. But what I mostly have an issue with is how they turned Kevin Conroy's Batman into a killer. They established that he just snapped and he just said, F it, I'm just going to kill the Joker. I'm going to kill Riddler. I'm going to kill Mr. Freeze. I'm going to kill Penguin. I'm going to kill... They even revealed that he killed Superman. And Superman, the battle with Superman is the reason why he's in this device that has crippled his body. And it's basically a robotic device that moves his body around slowly, and he's crippled and he can't wear the costume anymore. He even makes an attempt to try to kill Supergirl, and Kate Kane kind of sort of kills him accidentally, maybe. I mean, she shoves him back and he hits something and gets electrocuted and dies. And I thought, wow, that's how you're going to use Kevin Conroy? Not only are you turning a Batman, I know it's a different Earth Batman, so it's not the Batman, and I know Batwoman will have her Batman still, hopefully someday, one day out there, and they'll address this better. But I didn't like this usage of Batman. I didn't like seeing that he just became a killer and he sort of gave up hope. And I know it's an alternate universe. I know. But still, it was just, this is the only Batman that we've ever seen really on the Arrowverse on these shows, and it was a little disappointing. Brandon Routh, I know he's playing Ray Palmer, and I know he's been the Atom on these shows for a few years now, but seeing him back in the Superman costume. First, they go there, they find Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. This is a different Earth, mind you, and this is the Superman from Superman Returns. And Brendan Routh, he just seems more in his element as Clark Kent, as Superman. I very much liked him more seeing him here. I mean, I liked him more as this Superman than I did even in Superman Returns itself. The moment where he talks to the group and he tells them about Kingdom Come and how the Joker went nuts and set the gas explosion in the Daily Planet, killed Perry White, killed Jimmy Olsen, killed Lois Lane, and it caused Superman this big distress. I would have loved to have seen more of this. It was almost sad just to hear about it when watching it would be so much better. But it was cool to see that this, at least there's a version of this story that happened. Seeing Brendan Routh in the Superman costume was very, very cool. Lex shows up with this book, and it seemed all too easy how he was able to coerce him and turn him evil. We get a Superman versus Superman battle that I guess was fine, seeing them fly around and cause some damage. It wasn't too bad though. And then Lois is able to use the power of love to bring Superman out of this haze, and I guess he's now fine. All right, so that just happened. Again, so much stuff just happened here. It didn't feel like anything substantial really happened. Yeah, you had your fanboy moments, you had your cameos and whatnot, but overall, what happened? We find out that Kate Kane, that we never needed Batman himself because the real future Bat is Kate Kane. I call BS. I don't really buy Kate Kane as the true Bat hero. It's almost like this show is saying, well, because we don't have the rights to Batman, F Batman, screw you, Batman, because we're just gonna put all of our eggs into Batwoman. And technically, I guess that's what they should do. It's just Ruby Rose. I don't really buy her as this big hero that's gonna be destined to be the future and whatnot. There's a conversation between Kara and Kate where Kara says that she still has hope, that she might want to try to use this book to bring back Earth 38. Can you do that? I thought the whole purpose and point of Crisis was to unite all of the universes, to have one Earth. I was hoping that that's what we would end up doing, but maybe they won't. Maybe they will go back to the status quo. It will make all of this seem like for nothing. Or maybe Kara will try to do this and then she'll realize that she can't and then she'll have to deal with this at some point. So, guys, I was pretty disappointed just as far as the usage of Kevin Conroy, especially his Batman being a killer. I was angry. I was angry watching it. Did not like it at all. I don't know what to make of resurrecting Oliver Queen because I don't know if the show even really has a plan for it or if they're just dragging stuff out just because. And Tom Welling, as great as it was to see him back, I will now forever be disappointed that not only will I never see him in the Superman costume, but now I know that he's given up his powers. So, yeah, there you go. So, guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Night 2, Part 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths? Did you like it more than I did? Did you like it more than Night 1? Are you not digging this Crisis as much as you had hoped? I'm sort of in that camp. I do wish this was better. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.
Oh, yeah. Today I feel Super Bowl. Feel it in your mind and you lose control. Feel it in your breast and you super soul. I don't say it a lot, but I know